One last area of the camera that's important to know about is the settings menu. Each camera model has different menu settings and structure. These are some of the settings you'll want to find on your camera to help get the most out of it. So one of the first settings you're going to want to figure out how to do is formatting a memory card. When you get a brand new memory card, you want to format it for the camera specifically just to make sure everything's set up right. Also, if you get a camera, the first time you use it, one of the school cameras, you want to empty the card so that there's nobody else's pictures on it. So the easiest way to delete all of them instead of going one at a time is to format your memory card. So what you're going to end up doing is, with the camera on, you're going to hit the menu button, which is the second button down on the left, which will bring this screen up. Once that screen's come up, then you can use the up and down, left and right arrow keys here on the side to move through. So you want to go the whole way to the left and change it to the little wrench icon, then push to the right. And you'll see that format memory card should be the first one on the list. Sometimes if you're down a page or two, you may have to scroll way up. It's way up at the top of the menu. So you're looking for format memory card, push OK. Are you sure you want to do that? Because once you do this, you can't undo it. You can go to the yes, hit OK. It'll format your memory card. It'll tell you when you're done. And then you're ready to go to take new pictures. So when we do the image view, it's going to tell me there's no images on the camera. So we have a lot more settings to go through that are going to be buried on a different menu screen than your menu button. So you're going to hit the I button, which is the very bottom button on the camera on the left side. You're going to click on that if the camera's on. And when you click on that, your menu is going to change color. It's going to go to this monotone. Just like in any of your other menus, you use the arrow keys to move up, down, or left and right. And there's a whole bunch of information here that we're going to go through. So the quality, you want to make sure that's at fine and large. This is basically just setting what size your images are going to be. We want them to be as big as possible so we have the best quality. The next menu down is your white balance. This is going to be how your camera looks at, and if that shuts off, we just hit the I button again. It'll come back on. Hit the I button a second time. White balance, you usually want to keep it in auto, but depending on your lighting source, if you know that you're going to be in some place and you're getting weird colors, you can actually go through and set these. Like for incandescent, so regular light bulbs, or if you're going to be under like fluorescent or direct sunlight. But normally we just keep that on auto. We don't tend to have a huge problem with that. Your next setting down is the ISO. We normally keep that around 400. If you're outside, you can go lower to like a 100 or a 200. The lower that number, the more light the camera needs to take the picture, but you're going to get a higher resolution image. The higher you make this number, the less light you'll need, but you'll actually start to get noise or grain. So it'll be like little spots that show up because it's making the sensor work harder. So again, when we lose that, we just hit the I button twice to get back into that menu. Normally, like I said, 400 is considered like a universal ISO, so you could just keep your camera at 400. Your next area down is the focus mode. We want to keep that on autofocus automatic. So basically it's going to keep focusing for you as you go. The focus area, we want to keep that on the first setting, the single point. So it'll show you dots in your viewfinder and tell you exactly where you're being focused on. The next button down, or the next tool down, is the metering mode, and that's how your camera is going to look at the image and set the light meter. Matrix looks at the whole picture. Center weighted actually looks at the center area and a little bit around it, and then you have spot metering, which only looks at the very center of the image, and that's the one we want. It'll give us a lot more control. And then the other one, we're going to skip over a couple of these because they're not really useful for what we're doing. The other one that you can play around with on your camera is the exposure compensation, and this actually allows you to lie to the camera. Whatever the light meter says, it's going to shoot what if you make it shoot up stops or down stops, and what I mean by that is these numbers. So that's a third of a stop, that's 2/3 of a stop, that's a full stop down. On DSLRs, you can actually get away with setting that to a 1, a -1, and that will actually give you better results when you go to edit. So those are all of the settings in this menu, and those are things that you can use to control if you're having trouble getting pictures in a low light situation. You need to change the color balance, the white balance, because it's giving you weird pictures. This is the last video in the series. If you've watched all 3 videos, you should have a good handle on the settings and adjustments you'll need for the course. Good luck with your photos.